Welcome back to the deep dive. We're here to process the source material you've given us and turn it into pure, actionable knowledge. You don't need the manual. We'll give you the shortcut to mastering the strategy.
And today we are setting off on a really fantastic journey.
We're exploring the surprisingly crunchy mechanics of the board game Dragomino.
Yeah, it's often put in that, light family game category.
Yep.
But the deeper you dig into the math, the clearer it becomes that this is a masterclass in probability management disguised as a cute dragon hunt.
So you, our listener, are now a dragon rider exploring a strange new island. That's the setup.
That's the setup.
We're using these exploration dominoes, sort of building out the map to find these baby dragons, but the materials we looked at show it's really not about simple map building.
Not at all. The real tension isn't the geography you're drawing. It's the pure risk you accept every time you place a tile. You're managing statistics across 6 landscapes.
Yeah.
The desert, snow, prairies, forests, mountains, and the volcanoes.
Okay, so each landscape has a different risk. That has to be our mission then for this deep dive, to distill that core engine, how connecting tiles leads to a discovery, and where that crucial element of chance actually lives. Okay, let's unpack this.
To get the strategy, you have to start with the physical parts of the game.
Right, the components. Every player gets a starting domino. That's your home base.
And crucially, the sources make it clear that the entire game is built around a really small set of dominoes, only 28 in total.
28. That's it. So the game has a very clear countdown timer.
It does. You're not just building, you're rushing. In each round, only 4 dominoes are drawn and placed face up for everyone to choose from. That limited menu is what drives all the tension.
And the treasure we're after, the scoring, is all in these egg tokens. I think there are 69 total.
69, yeah, spread across those 6 landscapes. And the volume of eggs is what initially sort of hides the real probability.
So the distribution isn't even.
Not even close.
Yeah.
The data shows it's fundamentally unequal. We are not dealing with even piles of resources here. And that disparity is what sets the stage for all the high-stakes decisions.
I'm looking at the numbers here, and yeah, it's a huge difference. The desert family is the largest, with a potential of 14 eggs, and then it just drops off. Snow has 13, prairies have 12, forests 11, mountains 10, and the volcanoes are the smallest, with only 9 eggs.
And that gradient, from 14 all the way down to 9, that's the foundation of all the math you need to master.
Yeah.
That total number 14, 10, or 9 is the denominator for every single probability calculation you're going to make.
So we have the map structure, the limited dominoes, and the reward structure, those 69 eggs spread unevenly. Let's talk about how the Dragon Rider actually, starts the search.
It's a simple turn structure,
Here.
and it revolves around this little marker, the mummy dragon piece.
Ah, the first player marker.
Exactly. Whoever has her goes first. On your turn, you do 2 things. First, you visit places, which just means you pick one of those 4 face-up dominoes.
And second, you show discoveries, you place it.
You place it. And the new domino has to touch your existing map on at least one side. You're always setting yourself up for the next move.
Now the discovery part. This is what turns it from just matching terrain into a treasure hunt.
It is. If you place a domino and the connecting landscapes are different, say a prairie touching a mountain well, you've expanded your map. But that's it. Nothing else happens.
But if you get a match forest on forest, desert on desert, that's the moment of discovery.
That's it. For every matching connection, you get to take 1 corresponding egg token from that landscape supply. This is where the risk kicks in.
And the egg draw is the moment of truth. You flip it over.
Immediately. And there are 2 outcomes. Outcome 1, a baby dragon. That's 1 point. Goes right there on your map.
Then outcome 2.
An eggshell with 0 points, a total bust.
But it's not a total bust, is it? The eggshell gets you the mummy dragon piece.
Yes, and this is such a critical piece of the design. By failing, you buy yourself first choice in the next round, unless, of course, someone else fails after you on the same turn and takes her from you.
It's a great consolation prize. It stops you from falling into that negative loop of just failing over and over. You get control, at least.
Right. The trade-off is always there, and
Yeah.
a point now or control the board later.
And we should mention, a single domino can connect at multiple points, right? So if you line it up perfectly, you could get 2 or 3 matches at once.
Oh, absolutely. And that means you're drawing 2 or 3 eggs. It's a huge move.
Okay, now we're at the absolute heart of this deep dive. The mechanics are simple, but the probability, This is what elevates the game.
It really is. What's so fascinating here is the critical nuance that's buried deep inside those egg statistics from the source material.
We talked about the variable family size, 14 down to 9. So what's the constant?
The constant that controls everything is this. In every family of eggs, regardless of the total number, there are exactly 7 baby dragons.
7. Always 7.
Always 7. It completely flips the script. The goal is no longer just match anything. It's match the tile that gives me the best statistical edge.
Because that constant of 7 dragons is spread across those very different totals.
Look likely.
Okay, let's break that down for you, the player. Let's use those 2 extremes we talked about earlier.
Yeah, let's start with the volcanoes. Low volume, low risk. There are only 9 total volcano eggs.
And 7 of them are dragons.
7 of them are dragons. So when you draw a volcano egg, you have a 7 in 9 chance of success. That's almost 78%. The odds are phenomenal.
But wait, isn't that a trap? Relying on volcanoes? I mean, the odds are great, but if those tiles almost never come up in the draw, you're maximizing probability, but you're sacrificing opportunity.
And that is the beautiful trade-off the game forces on you. Now look at the other end, the desert. High volume, high risk.
14 total eggs.
But only 7 dragons. That's a 7 in 14 chance. A straight 50-50. A coin flip.
So you're constantly fighting those odds, but desert tiles must show up way more often in the draw just because there are more of them in the game.
Exactly. So the player has to decide every single turn. Do I chase the high volume opportunities, more turns, more chances to find a dragon?
Yeah.
Or do I wait, focus, and try to snag a rare low volume tile like the volcano for a near guaranteed point?
Here's where it gets really interesting.
It does, because you're managing 2 different kinds of risk. The risk of the tile not being available.
Which is low for desert, high for volcano.
And the risk of the egg not being a dragon, which is low for volcano but high for desert. A really smart player is tracking the game state. If a bunch of desert eggs have already been found, they were all eggshells, well, suddenly that 7-14 ratio might have shifted in your favor.
The decision every turn is pure risk calculation. It's fascinating. That 7 dragons constant is the most important thing you can know.
It is.
So the game flow itself is pretty quick. After everyone takes a turn, any dominoes left over are just discarded.
Yep, set aside permanently. And that's important, because those tiles are gone. It subtly changes the odds of what's left. Then you draw 4 new ones.
And the game ends when all 28 dominoes are gone.
That's it. It ends sharply.
Scoring seems simple enough. 1 point per baby dragon. But the sources point out 2 big nuances, and they're both tied to that consolation prize.
Right, the eggshell and the mummy dragon. So first, there's a late game bonus point. The player who is holding the mummy dragon at the very end of the game gets 1 extra point.
So even if the last connections are risky 50-50s, it might be worth taking the gamble just to grab the mummy dragon for that guaranteed point.
It's often a point-swinging move, and that leads directly into the brilliant tiebreaker rule.
This is the part I found so interesting.
It's a fantastic strategic twist. If players are tied on points from dragons, the winner is the person who collected the most eggshells.
Wait, hold on. Let's be really clear for the listener. The winner is the person who failed the most.
That's right. It completely flips the script.
Yeah.
It rewards the player who was bold enough to take those risks because every failure bought them 2 things: turn order control and a better tiebreaker score.
So late in the game, if you're in a close race, there's a real incentive to go for those high-risk desert connections. Even if you only get an eggshell, you're improving your chances to win the tie.
It adds this unexpected value to failure.
Yeah.
It's wonderful design. It prevents players from getting too defensive.
Okay, the source materials also mention a variation, the dragon's thirst. This adds watering holes.
Okay, and this is designed to give you, the player, more control and mitigate some of that raw statistical risk.
How does it work?
It's simple. When you connect 2 identical landscapes, if a watering hole is on at least one of those squares, you get to take 2 egg tokens instead of 1.
2 tokens.
2. And this is the key. You look at both of them secretly. You choose the one you want to keep, obviously the baby dragon, and you put it on your board.
And the other one.
You place the other one back on the table face down for someone else to find.
Ah, so the metagame begins. If I drew a dragon and an eggshell from that 50-50 desert pile, I keep the point. And now I'm putting a known eggshell back into the supply.
Exactly. And your opponents now have this piece of concrete negative information they have to deal with. The power of choice is transformative. It turns that 50-50 risk into a near guaranteed success if a watering hole is there.
But the bigger move is placing that known information back out there. You could place a known eggshell where your opponent is most likely to build, forcing them into a guaranteed failure.
You're turning chance into a tactical weapon.
Right.
This variation just layers player influence right on top of the raw probability. You're no longer just reacting to the game, you're shaping it.
Wow. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here, from simple domino matching to some pretty heavy statistical strategy.
How you did.
We unpacked that core engine, but the real secret was revealing that hidden constant, 7 dragons per family. That's what creates the tension between going for high-frequency connections versus high-probability ones.
And we saw how the mummy dragon, the eggshell tiebreaker, and those watering holes add these critical layers of risk management. They turn failures into assets and let players control the flow of information.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the real beauty here is just the elegance of it all. It creates so much strategic depth from such a simple framework.
It really is a clean mathematical puzzle wrapped in a very charming theme. It's about calculating the risk left in each family of eggs and then using that knowledge to choose. Do you want the 50-50 chance of the desert or the 78% certainty of the volcano?
Okay, a final provocative thought for you to chew on. In any system, knowledge of the true statistics is power. We saw that the desert offers high-frequency opportunities. You see those tiles a lot, you draw those eggs a lot, but it's only a 50-50 shot each time. The volcano is rare, a low-frequency opportunity, but it offers a nearly guaranteed reward. So consider how often in your own life you might confuse something that happens often with something that is a guaranteed win. Which environment are you most eager to explore now that you know the odds?